Well, I went and got my grain drill today. I keep it over on the other side of the farm under a shelter that belongs to Cousin Scott. And got it over here, got it hooked up to the little Ford. And I want a lot of clean out to it because I cleaned it out good before I put it up last year. But I did take WD-40, that's good stuff, and get down in here and get all these points like here and here. Same thing over through there. And even though I won't be messing with it anymore, I've got the, this is the seed drop rate right here. I want it on 26. That's what I had it on last year. Last year's seed was a 80% germination, and this year's seed is the same thing. But lubed that up and slid it around good, and this thing's worn, it's old, so to get it actually on 26, you push it way past, like to 40, and then take up the slack in it and move slowly back towards 26, and that's how you end up with it open, the correct opening on it. Got the cylinder hooked up. I use a little tiny, I mean, you don't need a lot of power to lift this thing, but a little small diameter cylinder like this gives you a quick lift time because you're not trying to fill up a big, large diameter cylinder to get it to expand. And pretty much just hooked it up to the remotes on the Ford here. Really enjoying this new seat. But I was riding around mowing and I said, something ain't right, something ain't right. What is it? Something ain't right. So I took the old seat cushion off of the metal and found out, sure enough, I had put 4 washers under the 2 front bolts to cock that seat back just a little bit. I was trying to slide out of the seat, but just that little bit of change makes it so that you sit back in the seat now and you don't feel like you're going to slide forward. Well, the little tractor's in pretty good shape, and I think it's going to be ready to go plant a bunch of soybean. I was mowing with that estate mower back over there in the back, and I noticed some of the spots in the field looked like they had dried out, so I took off with this thing through the field just to test it and see what would happen, and they're dry enough to get in and work. So I'm fixing to go in the house and get a cigar and some coffee and get on that and go knock the weed cover down, because I found out years ago you drag a chisel through a field that's covered over with winter weeds, they start dragging so bad in the chisels that it makes a big mess. You can actually get it to where it'll lift chisel out of the ground. You can get so much behind it. So we're going to go tend to that. There's something here I was going to talk about. I don't have to use a row marker. I think God designed this, getting me a little Ford tractor and then that grain drill. But you see how much that tire sticks out past the rear tire on the tractor. And just so happens the way this works out, if I line up that front tire with the tire mark on the grain drill in the dirt and go just to the side of it, I get perfect row spacing when I turn around and head back the other way. I thought that was pretty cool the way that worked out. Well, beautiful day here today. I got to go back to work tomorrow at the cigar shop. This spot right in here, you can see the tracks where I took a little Ford and ran through here and stayed up just fine while I was mowing that meadow strip down there. But it's wet. I just started at the other end of the field. It's dry up there, and about where you see the shade of the trees stopping from where the sun's at in the sky right now, it got wet. This right here, yep. It's wet, very wet. I really ought to leave it alone. Dagnabbit. Last time I messed with, you saw me with a clod in my hand like this, throwing it like that. It should bust when it hits my hand. If you throw it really hard up in the air, it should just fly all to pieces. But that right there is so wet. I mean, you can see the moisture now in my hand. It's supposed to be 2 days of sun and then rain Friday. Today's Wednesday. This weed mess on here, so I haven't done anything to this field. It's just weeded over from winter weeds. And I know that if I want to chisel this, the land right up there gets really hard. And if you don't chisel it, you can't get a disc in the ground. But that right there is too wet to be messing with. It'll turn to concrete over the next 2 days. Dagnabbit. And I got to go back to work tomorrow, so it ain't like I could work this up and then try to plant it. Of course, if I did something foolish like that, the nature of this kind of dirt, wet like this, you'd put seed in it and have it turn to concrete on top of it, and you'd never see the seed come up. It will not push through. Well, well, well. You can see the moisture on the tires. I didn't pick up mud rolling across it, but you can see the moisture on that tire coming through there. And you can see the swirl marks on the disc where it was in wet dirt. Oh, me. Well, I'll go ahead and cut it up. Not cutting it very deep. At least I can get this grass weed mess cut in. We'll see what happens. On this end of the field, I'm making dust or picking up the lime that's never been cut in. End of the little 2-acre piece where we left beans right in here. It was so wet we rutted this field up royal. I did catch it dry enough once to actually get over it and cut the lime in, and the beans that got left in the field, well, there they are right there. That's the way they do when they get left. They make new beans, but you can't keep that. You have to cut it up. It's in the rule book. And I was thinking about coming in this field next after that, and I don't think so. There was water squishing out of that. So we'll leave this alone. Maybe it'll dry out. Yeah, that was exciting. And besides, that ain't doing my land no good. Come out here and mess it up like that. So we'll leave that alone. But I think I can finish this. There's 2 passes right there And I got a little bit crooked off center, so I got to run back up that side over there to straighten that out. But this ground just wet. It just wet. Asked me what was the model number on that grain drill. Well, somebody put 8200 on it. It looks pretty official, so it must be a John Deere 8200. Just uses drag chains. There's no packing wheels, cover wheels, or all that fancy stuff. But I've planted beans 18 times. This will be the 19th time if it'll ever dry out and let me get in the field. I just came back from trying and it's too wet. So I gave it a shot, tested the waters. Yeah, there's water there. Everybody, thanks for watching my channel. Thanks for subscribing. Bye, y'all.